Hi, my dearest friends. Today's video is going to be perhaps my last video on this topic, unless more emergencies happen, hopefully not. I was contacted by some of the original ones who wants to stay anonymous, so I respect their privacy, and I don't mention their names. They represent not only themselves, but the group of their personal networks of original ones. There are still questions that disturb the peace of mind of some of us. I think it's time for us to clear those misunderstandings. One of the questions, why I'm using the Almine Studio YouTube channel to spill bitterness and rage against the original one's board, and even against Almine herself, especially in my Strife video. First of all, Strife video was absolutely about something else. And secondly, it's beyond my ability to experience those states, bitterness and rage. I can do that spiritually, mentally, and physically. Just recently, I had a conversation with one of the English-speaking regional ones, and I was actually challenged in this direction. It motivated me immediately during our conversation to make a quick self-scanning, and what I found that never in my life I was inclined to experience anger, bitterness, rage, as well as other distortions such as fear, pain, and protectiveness on spiritual, mental, and even biological level. I don't have such reaction built into my system. I remember my conversation with one of the American psychologists about 20 years ago, who tried to make me his client. Usually I start to try scanning a person to find something to heal. And he asked me about my childhood, and I don't know for what reason, but he disliked the fact that I was practicing my piano assignments for 12 hours a day. He told me that I needed his urgent services. It's emergency. He said that I have very deep childhood trauma because my parents, my education system took my happy childhood away from me. I hope that the time will come very soon when Americans, Westerners, and Russians will finally learn to communicate. I don't say understand one another, but at least communicate. So this psychologist was convinced that I had an issue, and I didn't understand what the issue was. Practicing piano lessons 12 hours a day, how can it be an issue? It takes time and effort and dedication to learn a skill. How many hours, days, and nights long people learn computer programming, computer science? Otherwise, we would still have lived in the Stone Age. How much time and effort and dedication does it take so that now we can use our smartphones, all of those apps, all this user-friendly software that we cannot even begin to imagine our lives without? I understand that perhaps consumers will never understand creators and vice versa. And understanding one another is actually not a requirement for friendship and business relations. Our countries can let go of the idea that we will ever understand each other. But it's not an obstacle for business relationships and cooperation. People tell me, Sergey, you must pretend because all normal people experience anger, bitterness, and rage at least sometimes. But it'll be a lie if I tell you that I'm able to experience those states. If we can't understand each other, at least we can be honest with each other and honestly say that I don't understand you. And what exactly you don't understand? I'm personally curious if there is something you don't understand about me, about my life, about my behavior. Please talk to me. You know how to contact me. My hunger and thirst for the highest truth, or what we habitually call the spiritual truth, always was and still is my primary drive in my life. And since my early childhood, I was asking myself deep questions. Why am I here? What is life? What is truth? Is there something more than just food, drink, education, job, retirement, and death? And I found Almine's teachings. And in those teachings, I found all my answers. I mean, teachings published and unpublished, those that I received directly from Almine in Russia and via the early cassette tapes. I have all of them. I've read many spiritual books before, but I never had and never planning to have any other teacher except Almine. I received a question from our light family member. Is it true that we in Russia distort Almine's teachings? The short answer is no. The longer answer is I don't understand the question. Why and what would be the reason for that? We have a translation team with native English speakers, and we never used AI for translating. All translations are custom made and verified with bilingual native English speakers who also speak Russian on native speakers level. We took our mission very seriously in 2010 when Jill and I were offered a job by Almine, first in spiritual journeys, and then Almine decided to start her organization in Russia, separately from the US organization. I accepted the offer to work as a translator. Before, I had some experience with translation, especially live translations, so I felt I could handle that. Whenever I'm not certain about my skills, I would rather not accept an offer. Because, well, I have enough skills to work somewhere else, not only in music. I accepted Almin's offer because I was interested not only in a job, but I wanted to learn everything that was possible to learn from Almin. And the best way how to learn was to translate. And Jill was sitting by me and we worked together. Fortunately, she is 100% bilingual. And she was scrutinizing not only my every word, but my every letter to make sure that translation is extremely accurate. It's a very rare thing that Russian translation teams have bilingual people on board. And we were and still are fortunate to have such privilege. And when I began to actually study Almin's teachings, I realized that I arrived. There's nowhere else to go. There's nothing to add to it. First of all, I got all my answers, which I was looking for all my life before Almin. And now I can clearly see people around me with their struggles. And I see that if they would know what I know, they wouldn't struggle like that. And Almin's first two books, Life Miracles and Journey to the Heart of God, are more than enough for that. They're all solutions ready to use for clearing all emotional relationships issues. We have some professional psychologists here in Moscow that use those two books as their handbooks in working with their clients. And this is our goal, to help people and to make life better on earth, at least at tiny steps. In case if this question still remains open, I would invite you to go through all the videos posted at Almin Studio YouTube channel, in which I share the basics of Almin's teachings to the best of my understandings. The videos are in English, and please let me know if you found any distortions, and call and text me, tell me what exactly is distorted, and if something was really miscommunicated. Well, my English is still work in progress. I understand that. I'd be more than happy to delete those videos immediately, those which are with distortions. But tell me what exactly was distorted. I'd be more than happy to work with that, either with Original One's board members, except are here for obvious reasons, or with the dean of our International Velospata Academy, Jen Alvey, who is extremely well-versed in Almin's work, or with anyone of our light family. Another very important question that we received was if it's true that Team Almin Russia tries to isolate a Russian-speaking light family from the contents of Almin's English language websites, Original One's org, Almin Diary.com, Almin Store, from Almin's ongoing revelations. The answer is Team Almin Russia didn't get crazy. It takes insanity to do that. May I repeat who we are? We are Team Almin Russia, and we work with Russian-speaking Almin students. Most of them don't speak English, and we have specifically dedicated a Russian language Almin Telegram channel where one of our dedicated translators translates all messages from original ones and Almine Diary. And also Russian speakers privately use Google Translate. I checked it and it translates really decently. Jill, with her linguistic skills, confirmed that. All of our Russian Light family participates every month in the last Sunday masses with all international original ones. We keep translating all new ceremonies and protocols and make them available to our Russian Light family on the ongoing basis. So our Russian Light family walks the same path with the entire global Light family. Then what's the role of Almine's Russian office? We manage Russian language web store, which was created per Almine's instruction in 2010. We have over 2,000 products there, all Almine's meditations and audio courses, voiceover translated. So many things there. Since 2010, we've been producing at least 2 packages per week, sometimes more. And of course, the Sound Alchemy per Almine's instructions since 2016. I remember when Almine asked me to host a Blog Talk radio show first time in 2014 in English. I was shocked. But she clearly stated that she wanted me to speak in English, not only Russian. And I just wanted to stay behind the scenes and do my translations and to stay hidden in the recording studio, but I took the challenge. We understand that learning from a teacher is not just reading books, it's taking challenges. It was absolutely clear and logical for me to speak only Russian, my native language. And first of all, we had Almine herself teaching then. In those years, we hosted groups of Almine's appointed English-speaking teachers that facilitated seminars in Moscow, and I translated for them. I was happy to be just a translator. And then another challenge, 2016, Russian institutes. And they must be bilingual. My hands were full of work with the Russian work, but we all understand that if we want to really learn the highest truth, we must take challenges. So I have to stretch myself far beyond my comfort zone. I have to be always stretched, always challenged. This is what Almine was telling me all the time. In addition to Russian translation and Russian customer support, here I am, the institutes and Sound Alchemy. To be honest with you, Sound Alchemy is my favorite. But if I really want to learn, I need to forget it. Favorite, not favorite, comfortable, discomfortable. I must be stretched, challenged. We don't want stagnation. So this is what we are. And we stay what we are. Currently, we have dynamic Russian language Light family that grows in numbers. Our Russian Institute has been operating in Russian since 2016, and we actually started in a test mode in 2014 with a limited group of participants. And currently, from time to time, we offer some English language programs, which were never meant to supersede American original ones offers. And it's explicitly stated at our English language Almine International web store. I will read it for you from there. We also strive to make available products and teachings of the seer that are not available on other platforms as a complement to Almine Diary.com, Almine Store, and Original Ones.org. So we deliberately mention Original Ones web resources, especially for our new visitors that don't know about them. Again, it would be something really insane from our part to do anything that would be disruptive or subversive against our American colleagues. In Russian, we make available translations of Almine's original work, but in English, our role is clearly supplementary to Original Ones Foundation, as we offer totally different programs, and historically, Team Almine Russia's emphasis is on practical application of Almine's teachings. That's why we offer practical intensives. Also, I'm really in love with Almine's Toltec teachings, which are also known as internal technologies. I always considered their unavailability through Spiritual Journeys web stores as a serious missing link. I understand that there may be some changes after reorganization of the American office, and we're still waiting for more clarity from our American colleagues, documentary evidence of copyright transfer, more clarity if it's that American office is now an owner of also Russian translated materials, we can work with that, or we can also transfer a Russian office to the management of American team if we can find practical ways to organize that. Considering current political tension between Russia and the US, we respect international law of copyright, and we will definitely work with that. So I'm currently a director here, but if I need to be replaced by someone else, I can be replaced by someone else. I will stay here anyway, so I can hold any other position. I can be a courier or janitor or just volunteer. It doesn't really matter. I'm more concerned about keeping availability Russian language work to Russian language light family. And it's not only Russia, it's 20 countries with large Russian-speaking populations. We have our light family almost in all those countries. Currently, all related business expenses are financial responsibility of the Russian office, and we only want win-win solutions, nothing subversive. Another question I just received, several light family members asked if their understanding is true that those who use Russian office offers and shop at Almine International English language web store or Shop Almin Rule Russian language web store are the 1/3 of the fallen original ones. All of this reminds children's broken telephone game. What does it mean to fall in consciousness? It's individual thing that depends on the level of your surrendered dedication to your self-work, regardless of your geographical location and where you shop online. We can shop at Amazon, or we can shop at Almin store or Regional One store and still be fallen. If, for example, we still express distorted emotions, fear, anger, pain, protectiveness, if we still use alcohol and drugs and involved in promiscuous lifestyle, just a few examples out of many. Or you can shop at Almin International, shop Almin Rule, and be totally dedicated to your self-work and make the teachings your lifestyle every second of your life. And the one who asked mentioned something like some of us following Rohir, some follow Sergey. I don't know much about Rohir, but I can speak only for myself. It was very surprising for me to find some interesting facts about myself, which I didn't know about, that as if I have followers. If someone wants to be my follower, then I'm not a true master. If someone is a master, he produces masters. If someone is a cult leader, he produces followers. Fortunately, Team Almin Russia is not a cult. I remember it was a long time ago before I met Almin. I tried to have some conversation with one of the followers of some cult in Russia. This cult was not actually Russian. It was originated from somewhere in India because they call their leader Guru. We tried to discuss some metaphysics, but I realized that this person doesn't understand me at all, although we both spoke Russian. And I tried to ask him some challenging questions. What does he think about this? And what does he think about that? Until I realized that this person was not able to speak, let alone to think. And the only thing I heard from him was, I don't care. I just follow my guru. I will just do whatever my guru tells me to do. It's not mine to think. Happy follower is mindless follower. I had to stop this conversation because I tried to speak with a zombie. There was no one living in that body. That person was dead man walking. So to have followers is to kill people. I don't have followers. I'm not a murderer. I have friends. Also, cults are dictatorial by their nature. If someone is a follower of a cult, they're not allowed to think and question the words of his guru. He is expected to totally submit and obey versus the one who aspires to mastery, who thinks, questions, contemplates, comes to his own conclusions. Like Almin, she calls herself a philosophical Nagwal. And we have her teachings about self-sovereignty, my being is my sustenance, and being self-referred for approval, and the master doesn't seek the truth or obey someone else's truth. A master creates the truth every moment. So a cult is not about Almine. Rest assured that Team Almine Russia is not building a cult. We just serve Russian international already existing Almine students and assist newcomers with their first steps orientation. I think this is really the last video where I answer those kind of questions. The topic is closed here, but if you still have questions, we can always talk or text to each other. Only please forgive me in advance if there's not always possibility to answer immediately, but I guarantee that I'll answer at my earliest possibility. But if you have something urgent, please mark it as urgent and I'll get in touch with you immediately, at least for a few minutes. Talk to you soon.